would you say that maybe the reason that a lot of people do struggle with commitment, whether like even it to themselves, right? Like I'm going to eat healthier this year. Like I know that eating this processed junk is not good for me, but and I'm going to make a big change, and then you don't stick to that. Do you think that's because we didn't have that modeled for us, or because I know for me, um and it's through a lot of your work too. It's like unparenting how we've been parenting, right? And then like becoming the better and eventually, hopefully, best version of ourselves. But I didn't have a parent. I was kind of like a feral, free range baby. So I didn't have anyone that was like, you signed up for violin, you need to stick with it. You signed up for Spanish, you need to stick with it. And now looking back, I'm like, I really wish that someone had taught me some more discipline with some of that stuff, because then I would be able to have these skills that I do value now as an adult. I'm like, I wish I could play an instrument. That'd be beautiful. I wish I was bilingual. I think that's beautiful. But I didn't have that structure growing up. So now it's
Yeah, but
hard as
don't,
an adult.
but I do think you may be, right? Maybe over simplifying. Oh, if I had had that, I would speak 20 languages.
Mhm.
You don't know. You
Mhm.
don't know what else you would have had that you don't have right now. So let's not
Mhm.
romanticize, and instead let's accept, because imagine if you did have the discipline, but then you were ashamed, but then you were beaten. Sure, you would be forced into learning three languages, but you were ashamed, you see.
Mhm.
So don't over romanticize or oversimplify what you wish you had gotten. Let me tell you, you are doing this podcast, you are very committed. You know why you're committed? Because it's what makes sense for you now. It matches who you are in your essence. Nobody's making you show up on time. For me, you showed up on time, you're available, you're present, you've got your notes. Guess what? That was you, right? Somehow you found it within yourself. So it is with our children. And what I teach in this book, The Parenting Map, is for parents to align with who it is the children are,
Mhm.
and then encourage them through their own self knowing to find activities that they like. And the closer it is to who they are in essence, the more committed they will be.
Mhm.
And allow that to unfold a little bit more slowly, more naturally, so that it is sustainable, so that it does feel like the child is owning it rather than we are imposing it on them.
Mhm. So when it comes down to like your essence and your authenticity, you've spoken about how institutions can kind of crush that and suffocate that, and whether that institution is traditional marriage, whether that institution is education. Like you have these systems all around you, and a lot of them seem to be unavoidable, like education. We do have some, private schools that provide some kind of options, but that's not accessible to everybody. So how do you navigate that trap almost? Because if you are in a situation where you only have one public school and that's the only option, and then maybe you get stuck with a bad teacher that you see is just not whole and complete in themselves, and then that is being kind of projected onto the children, right? Like, don't focus too much on art because you'll never be an artist, or artists don't make any money. So, like, this class doesn't matter. Just like these really awful things to tell this young blossoming child. So how do you navigate that trap when it feels like you don't have a third rail or a third option?
Well, you accept. Not everybody can have 25 private schools at their disposal. And we live in this world. So we teach our children, to manage within this world. I mean, what to do. We're not living in an ideal place. Most of us don't have ideal situations. And I teach that, like, let go of the quote unquote form based realities. Like, it doesn't matter what school you send them to. Of course, it does. Ideally, it would. But don't stress on that. You at home capitalize on the power you do have, and at home, let them know that at school they focus on grades and they stress you out, but at home, let me tell you, this is not that important. What's important is that you know who it is you are, that you believe you are loved, you are worthy, right? We cannot create a magical fairy tale for our children. That is not the goal of conscious parenting. The goal of conscious parenting is to teach our children that no matter what life throws at them, they're going to be okay because they are worthy and empowered from within. And that's what I teach in this book, is how can parents help their children feel worthy and empowered to handle life's imperfections, because life is imperfect. It's not about finding the right mate or finding the right pair of shoes or finding the right school. No, it's about feeling right within you so that you take that sense of rightness wherever you go. And it doesn't matter what life is. Life is not perfect. And there's no way I will ever help parents find the perfect situation, because there is none. It's about accepting imperfection and knowing that you are empowered to handle the imperfection because you're resilient.